Hello kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for stopping by. I wanted to show you this treasure that I picked up today. I had seen this advertised along with 3 other vintage motorcycle tanks and 3 random fenders. So the other 3 tanks seem to be painted with aftermarket colors. This Honda tank was the only one that was in original condition. I happened to find it listed online at a antique slash good stuff store. It's actually called Cool Used Stuff, and the address is 1342 Central Avenue in Sarasota, Florida. So they had this advertised, so I went down to check it out. Prior to that, I had went online to try to figure out what exact year and model this Honda tank came off of. I tried to figure out the paint scheme, and I was not able to find an exact match for this tank, so I'm not sure exactly what year and model this came off of. It was originally silver and orange. You can't tell from that, but if I turn it upside down, you can see some better color there on the bottom. It's an orange. So the only tanks I was able to find online had the stencil turn right here after the A in Honda and go to the back. None of them were to the front of the tank, taking up the whole side of the tank. They were just a half circle here around the A, so I'm not sure exactly what this came off of. The reason why I got it is I paid $30 for it without the key. I was not able to look inside, but I shook it and I didn't hear a lot of rust rolling around inside the tank. I checked the seams. They seem to be pretty solid. I did not find any rust through in the underside of the tank. It seemed pretty solid, just some surface rust. So I bought it basically to hold for another project. It can be modified slightly to fit different sized motorcycles. So what you find when you're trying to restore an old bike is the gas tank is the hardest thing to replace. If it does not come with a usable gas tank, you're going to have to search eBay, old motorcycle junkyards to try to find a decent tank that's not rusted through. The gas tank is the first thing that you're going to have a problem with because they rust out. If they've been sitting with fuel in them and water, it's going to rust out the bottom seam here, and they're not going to be salvageable. You can salvage them with a few pinholes by red coating the interior of the tank, and that'll save your tank. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time finding a replacement tank if you don't have a good one to start with. So I called Uncle Brad about finding a key for this because he has a lot of old Honda stuff, and I thought he might have some key blanks. He did not. He said, why don't I try one of my old CB Honda keys in it to see if I can get the tank open. So I tried my CB 350F key, and that didn't work. And then I grabbed my Honda 360T is in Tommy, and lo and behold, I got the right key to get the tank open. It did not come with the key, so I was quite pleased with that. And checking the inside of the tank, it is salvageable. There's just a little bit of surface rust in there, so I'm quite pleased with this purchase. I can red coat the interior of the tank and make this a usable tank for a future project. What I did notice on eBay, a lot of times when it had a locking mechanism, this was all broken off. People would lose the keys and just break off this whole locking mechanism. So I was happy to still have that locking mechanism intact and have a keyed key to fit the cap with. I can go to a local locksmith and have a reproduction key made and be able to have a complete setup here. So let me turn this around and show you a couple of things. Let me adjust you. So it's got a crossover tube. When you fill these with gasoline, there's a center ridge here, which will put gas on either side of the tank. So when one side runs dry, the petcock side here, the other side will not drain through, so they have a crossover tube here, which will equal out the volume of fuel between either side of the tank. So that's what this hose is here. It's a crossover. It'll keep both levels of gasoline on either side of these two humps the same. And then it's got the petcock screw here. So all the old Hondas I've messed with have had a flat bolt system here with two bolts holding it to the tank. I've never had a screw-on petcock before. So once I figure out what this thing came off of, I can buy a matching petcock to replace the one here that's missing. So it's got a small dent here in the front. Which I'm not too concerned about. Surface rust underneath, surface rust inside. All in all, I'm happy for $30. Because like I said, if I have to replace a bad tank, you can spend $300, $400, $500 depending on how rare the tank is and what condition it's in. So I'm kind of happy with today's purchase for $30. So if any of you kids or cadets recognize this vintage tank, let me know what it came off of. So there we go. It's always good to have spare vintage parts. You never know when you're going to need them. So, as always, I appreciate you coming out and checking out my videos. I'll have some more coming up here in the near future. Continue to have a great day today.